Good morning. Good morning. So, today we are celebrating Epiphany. It's a day when we remember the magi, sometimes called the wise men, who came from afar to visit Jesus when he was still very young. They came to find Jesus because they saw a star, and they knew that that star meant something important. They knew that that star was calling them to follow it so that they could find the child who was born as the King of the Jews. And they arrive to greet Jesus, and they bring wonderful gifts to give him. The three gifts that they give him are precious, but they also are things that have deep meaning. Gold is a sign of kingship, long associated with God. Frankincense represents wisdom, and myrrh is a sign of long life and healing. Frankincense was and still is a costly incense, and myrrh was a prized perfume. These gifts were usually given to a king or a person with high status. Now, whenever we see images of these wise men illustrated in pop-up books like that, Christmas cards, nativity scenes, bulletin covers like this week, the emphasis is on the gifts that they have come to bring, the things that they carry to give this young king. And yet, it is important that we remember that even before they gave these gifts, they had first received something. They had received the gift of God in Christ. So the gifts that they are giving here are in response to what they have first been given. And we, too, have just ended a season that was full of gift giving, where we gave and received all kinds of gifts from each other, from family members, from friends, colleagues. And at this time, it's crucial to take some time on this Epiphany Sunday to remember the most important gifts that we've received, the things that we have received from God. Things like life itself, family, friends, community, love, forgiveness, mercy, prayer, peace. Sometimes we take these kind of gifts for granted. Sometimes we forget to focus on the gifts that God has given us already, the gifts that are a part of our daily lives. Now, as a way to practice a deeper appreciation for the gifts that God has given us, last year, we started the practice of receiving a star word around the season of Epiphany. Was anybody here last year to receive their word? Anybody out here remember what their word was from last year? Sharing. What was that? Sharing. Justice. Guidance. Kindness. Yeah. So we got those words a year ago, and everybody got them on a little paper star. And the idea was that everyone would take that gift, that word, and then throughout the year, we were all supposed to consider how God has been and is being made manifest in that gift. So this year, we're going to do that again. So what we're going to do at the end of the sermon here is I'm going to hand this out. And I know you already did it. You already got yours. I didn't think you were going to be here right now. So each of these stars has a word on them. So the words on these stars are many and various, but among them there are words such as quiet, readiness, prophecy, surrender, prayer, purpose, practice, amazement, tenderness, fervor, joy. These star words are a gift.
I didn't remember I got mine.
Yeah, I'll tell you later, okay, buddy? Okay. These words aren't some kind of prediction for the year ahead. They're not some sort of fortune cookie. They're a gift that will remind you of one of the many things that God has already given you. But for each of you, your word, the word that you get, will take on a deeper meaning as you pray about it, as you contemplate it. It's something that will hopefully help you focus in this year. It's an opportunity to reflect regularly on God and how God speaks to people today, how God speaks to you today. We are always yearning for clear and tangible signs of God's presence. And those signs are often all around us and sometimes even right in front of us. But we can get so overwhelmed by life that we completely miss them. So these stars are meant to be a way to help you to focus your awareness of God's gifts in your life. Now, over the year, this word may help you evolve new ideas about your faith and your life and how they intersect in unexpected ways. These words may help some treasured wisdom surface in your life. And maybe you get the word that will remind you of a gift that God has given you. And through the year, it will help you to truly notice and appreciate that gift. Maybe the word will serve as encouragement to you in a difficult time. Maybe your word will be an example for you of God's support as you take on some courageous and joyful new tasks this year. But be intentional about how you receive this gift. As with any other gift, you can either receive it with joy, wonder, and thanksgiving, or you can discard it and forget it. But I implore you to take your word as an opportunity to reflect on the way that God works through you and through other people. Don't just toss the star on the floor of your car or let it get smashed up at the bottom of your purse or leave it on the pew today. Take it with you. Maybe take out your phone and snap a photo of it so you have it with you all the time. Put it on your bathroom mirror, set it up next to your computer screen, put it on your refrigerator, tape it to your bed or to the steering wheel of your car. Last year, the word that I pulled from the offering plate was change. So I took that word and I put it in a prominent place. At first, I put it on the phone in my office, but if you've seen my office, you know how quickly it becomes just a mess of papers. So then I moved it up to the magnetic board on my wall. And that meant that I regularly looked at that word change and thought about it and prayed about it. Every time that I read the word change last year, every time I experienced a change in my life or listened to other people talk about change, I heard it differently than I would have because I knew that that word was my gift to meditate on for the year. Whenever I heard it, read it, or said it, I wondered, okay, where is God being made manifest in this word and in this moment? I looked for instances in my Bible where the word was found. So I read about what happened in the scriptures when people had a change of heart and repented. I read about people who didn't change their evil ways and the destruction and pain they created. I read about the way that God doesn't change, but also about times when God had a change of mind because people had changed their ways. Now, did having that particular word change my year? Is it because I got that word change that I had so much change in my life last year? No, not really. But it was because I had that word that it led me to consciously seek God's lead in moments of change. It served as a reminder for me of God's presence and God's gifts in my life in the midst of all of that. So in just a moment, I will be passing out your star words. And what you're going to do, Pastor Yuan's going to help me. You're going to pick one out of here and don't go through looking at what you get. Just grab what's on the top and that's your word. Close your eyes even maybe. But as you receive your word for this year, may it help you. May this word be one instrument of many to guide you in seeing all of what God has already given you. May it be a way that you see God more clearly in the days and months ahead. So as you receive your word, I ask you to take a few moments of quiet prayer and contemplation.